All right, hello YouTube. I know it's been a while. Didn't plan for it to go that way. So I have some gameplay footage in the background of some of my hardcore, normal non-Uber boss kills, and I wanted to talk over that and then show what's going on with the character now. So if you guys, many of you maybe aren't aware, some of you might be, because my videos about my quest to PoE 1 Ubers have been some of the best performing video, and this is on hardcore, some of the best performing videos I've had in the recent years. They've done very well. People have been very excited not only to watch it and like interested in watching it, but there's also been a lot of comments and like discussion on my videos, which is kind of crazy for how small our YouTube channel normally is. So I just want to kind of talk about that and what's been going on. I did not give up. I know it's been like over it's been like maybe 3 weeks since I last made a video. I did not give up, but I will say that I did die 4 times. And it's actually, each time I feel like I've gotten better and learned a lot. And each time looking back on my deaths, they were so bad. Increasingly worse the further back you go, right? My first death, I don't know if I have footage of this, but first off, I was playing a super scuffed character, not even like a million DPS. I walked into regular Eater of Worlds, like tutorial, sorry, not even the green little invite. And I had Frostblank of Wintry Blast, and then I was in a Drowning Orb, and I didn't think about the interaction that has because it has a cast time, and so I was in the Drowning Orb, and I tried to Frostblank out of it, and it was so slow I drowned. I've never died that way. That was funny, but really, really bad. Like something, a mistake I think I would probably never make again. It's obviously impossible to say, but I look back at how bad I was at the game then. And my second death was to Searing Exarch, which actually, funnily enough, I think he's easier to not die to now than Eater, because you, by like level 90, can grind a bunch of harvest, especially on the standard atlas, get a few max res jewels for fire, and you can swap them, right? If you get a max res for lightning or max res for cold, you can swap it to fire. That works. And then you walk in with like 90 fire res with a few max res jewels and like maybe purity of fire and a ruby flask. You walk in with 90 fire res, and then you do flesh and stone and arctic armor. And if you really are that, I'm just saying, if you're really that bad at the fight like I was back then, I just recently fought him again on hardcore with the regular setup and actually did the ball phase, although I did kind of choke a bit. I don't know why. It was like almost impossible for you to die unless I like fricked out and tanked like 5. And I almost tanked, I tanked like 4 or something, like 3, and got pretty low. But it's like I was only subjecting myself to that by not standing still. I could have just stood still, but I wanted to kind of practice. But anyway, I kind of did it normally, although I was super scuffed. And he's even easier to cheese because the only thing that can kill most characters at that point is incineration, or like not having your flasks, or I guess being on a grate and then tanking a bunch of stuff. But if you're playing hardcore, you should just log out there. And if you think that you should play hardcore and not log out, then I'm sorry. I'm trying to be like the best players. I'm not trying to be like the average player. I want to be good at anything I set my mind to. I'm always striving to do my best. So then I died to that. And that was my second death. And then I died to, am I think I'm forgetting a death. I died again to, a super juiced expedition where I did the thing where extra modifiers on the remnants, which if you don't know what that means, effectively the mobs were all getting like a paragraph of buffs, and I was doing that for a couple maps and it was actually fine, but then I just ended up making like, I was joking with my fiance, I call him Uber Dog. I ended up making this this expedition mob, this rare, who already had like a bunch of modifiers, and I gave him all the extra. He almost one-shot me, and then the stupidest thing I've ever done, I walked back in. I survived. I logged out. I had like 300 HP. I mean 300 out of like 4,500. So I had like less than 10% life, and he like poisoned me or something. One of the things I'm not immune to. He poisoned me because I gave him poison on the remnant. I did have 75 for chaos res, but that's it. And then I logged out at like 300 life, and I walked back in, and then he killed me, and I totally deserved that. Oh my gosh. And then I'm trying to think if I died. I thought I died again, maybe to like another boss or something. I know I died at level 95. I died at level 95. Yes, I died. I died at like level 90 something while mapping. What did I die to that time? I died to Eater, made a new character, got level 95 again, didn't even fight Exarch, died. I died to something else, something random. I don't know what I died to. And then I did it again. I made another character, another little like 95. Went into Exarch, died. So that was my third death to Exarch. And I made another character called New Exarch Got Me. And went again, grinded like overnight to like level 90, like stayed up and like almost didn't sleep. And then that character killed Exarch. After I just died to him, I didn't want to freak out and like make too much of him. And then I went again. Then I killed him, and then that character died to Uberdog from the Expedition Remnant. This dog that had like 20 modifiers. And I logged out and barely lived after he almost one-shot me. And then I went back in just thinking maybe I could kill him. And the funny thing is, he would have dropped like next to nothing, despite all those modifiers. Right? I wasn't like I was doing like the stacking like you would the Rogue Exiles or something, where they're going to drop a ton of stuff. It wasn't even that. I was at most going to get like a logbook from him or something. And I went back in and died. Oh my gosh. And then that character killed Exarch, but the first character I had killed Maven for my first time ever. It was... What was that character's name? I don't remember. Just new... free share or something. Killed Maven for the first time ever in hardcore. The full-on Maven. I beat her. And then I died to Uberdog. And now I'm at level... where I am now, I'm level 99. I'm like 30% to level 100. We're getting there. It's just going to take some time because I've been working a lot. I got home at like 9:30 p.m. yesterday, and I got home at like 7:30 p.m. today. I've been working like crazy, and I'm leaving like 9 a.m. in the morning. But I'm getting paid by gig, right? So I'm getting paid per job that I'm doing. I'm a handyman. So I'm getting paid per job that I'm doing. And so the more I'm working, the more money I'm making. It's not like I'm working a long shift and I'm salary or anything. It's quite the opposite. So I've just not had time to grind out that last level 100, but I'm not going to walk into Ubers to level 100 because it gives you a Steam achievement. But this character feels really strong. I'll show the POB here in a second. I just want to make sure I got through everything I wanted to explain. My characters have gotten better every time, and I've gotten better at the game every time. This character is crazy. Again, I'll show the PB in just a second. Super, super tanky. Really, really satisfied with where she's at. I did a little bit of trading, but I've actually made most of my own gear. With PoE 2 coming up, that was the one thing I wanted to mention while I still have the bosses in the background. With PoE 2 coming up, I was really uncertain if I wanted to post this video because I cannot make the time to get level 100 right now, but I'm not walking into bosses until I am. Although I think most supers I'm gonna have a good shot against. My goal is to kill one. If I kill more than that, that'd be awesome. But that's my goal, to kill one. With PoE 2 coming up, I just wasn't sure if I wanted to delay the video until after the PoE 2 hype dies down, or just post it anyway. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts in the comments. With PoE 2's new league coming out, I'm kind of gonna take a chill approach to it. If I play at all, I might skip it because the league doesn't bring a lot of new stuff to play around with, not a lot of new content to play through, if you know what I mean. We're not getting new acts. We're not really getting a lot of new in-game. We're getting a little bit of stuff. So yeah, I wasn't sure what to do. I don't really want to play hardcore in PoE 2 though. The defenses in PoE 2 are abysmal. There's like maybe a few outliers here and there, but my gosh, hardcore PoE 2 just does not sound fun. So we'll see. Yeah, so I'm curious to hear you guys' feedback, and we'll see what happens with that. And then I also have some new ideas for hardcore videos. One of them is like kind of bribing my family and friends to play hardcore and using money as a catalyst if they like hit goals in hardcore. So like getting newer players into hardcore, people that aren't super experienced. It's gonna be really bad for them. But the motivation of money, I thought that would be a fun idea. And the other thing was that the like pro versus noob, effectively, most simply put, I kind of wanted some newer players to do a playthrough on softcore with a ton of items, like even maybe like a mage blood or a headhunter or something, just give them a ton of stuff to get started, so they'd have the world as their oyster, but they're so inexperienced, right? So them racing to beat the time of a hardcore player starting fresh and like I guess they wouldn't have to play side by side, but like starting fresh and like getting to their first Uber without to compete with that time, which I think would actually almost be impossible. I think that the newer players, even with Mage Bloods and Headhunters and like the most Giga Gear, even on soft core, I mean maybe, right? Because they can go in and die. They just have to kill it all. I don't know what you guys think about that idea, but it's something I was kind of floating around the idea of. But yeah, besides that, let me go ahead and let me show my POB here, what we're working with as my current character sits. So she is level 99. Let me fix the sound here. Oh, it is. I think the sound's good. Yeah, she's level 99. And Uber new. This is the one, you know. I'm actually not that upset that I died on the other character because their name sucked. This is Uber new. So we're running only 89 fire res. That's without a flask though, so I kind of like that. I still kind of bouncing around the idea of what to do, whether or not to keep it this way. But yeah, that's without a flask. I do have Purity of Fire. That just gives so much max res and fire res, so that with my Cloak of Flame plus Purity of Fire, I don't need anything else except for what's on the tree. I have no other fire res. It's just enough between those two, which is really nice, actually. It's really nice. But we're taking... I think we take about 85% of lightning and cold as fire, and we have 90 or 89 fire res, right? Actually, I take a little less. My lightning roll on the shield is low, but this is one of the best ones I could find. So I take 80% of lightning, and I take 88% of cold as fire. And I take 100% of physical as fire, and I have an 89 fire res. So everything except chaos is pretty much covered by this 89 fire res, which I really need to get it back up to 90. I will probably be doing that for when I actually walk into Ubers. We actually bought an Natural Instinct. I did buy this from another player. One of the few things I've traded for. It doesn't actually make the huge difference. I was really up in the air about whether or not to even run this. It's good, right? But I could have just got this attack speed, and then I'm just really missing like 8% life and 9% movement speed. It doesn't really give anything else. It did let me get more life though, so in the end I did decide on it, but I don't know about this one because I could have again just passed through the attack speed. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. We're running our Lethal Pride here with Rockiata and Tempered by War. That's 50% of the damage taken from that Timeless Jewel. I have, this is from a Rue's guide. I have the Light of Meaning here, which is giving me like 130% or something increased chaos. It's just increased, it's not more, so it just increased chaos damage. It does end up being like 13% more damage though. It's so much. Still, I don't know about that one. I like it overall, I think. We have a level 21 precision. I'm actually able to run that because I have Enlighten, which Rue did not for whatever reason. I don't know why. So I actually have to run. I get to run a high level precision, and it actually caps my accuracy with just one accuracy cluster plus this accuracy here. So yeah, again that's nice, but I don't know. I still don't know about this Unnatural Instinct. I have it now. We have a few tattoos just for resistance. I really need to get a blind tattoo. I might have to buy one if I don't get one soon. But yeah, the build is really good. We one of the main sources of our damage is follow through. We have 4 mediums with follow through. Each one of them is insane damage because we end up with like 14 chains, right? So that's a lot of increase per again. It is, yeah, it's way more than this Light of Meaning even. That's one of the ways we're getting so much hit plus dot damage. And then I'll go ahead and show the POB. It's so tiny. Let me make that bigger. Alright, I'll make it full screen just a second here. I don't normally have it this big. Alright, show the POB here. Okay, so this is the character, and this is without any flasks up. And this is with power charges and frenzy charges. I don't actually have endurance charges. That's a lie. But, oh, dude, I actually was taking more damage from these than I thought. That's still 1,500 from those X-Arc balls. So we have the Withered, which comes from the Concoction, which is pretty much always going to be a thing. Yeah, we have Friendly Charges and Power Charges from the Mark Mastery and Assassin's Mark. I am using Anathema for Triple Curse, which are running Temporal Chains, Despair, and Assassin's Mark. I still don't know. I know I heard a discussion with Rue and other players about how people didn't think his crit build was worth it. We do get a lot of hit damage, which then lets us leech. So we're sitting at 15 million. This is with item rarity though. We actually were, for these fights that I showed in the video, we're running Awakened Vicious Projectiles. I just traded for this. It was only like 1 Divine on Hardcore, 20 mil. These are actually not that hard to get yourself either. Is SSF valuable for sure. That's 20 mil, and that's without the swap over to Fury Valve on the Ascendancy, and then the extra 2 projectiles. So we got up to 26 million Pinnacle Boss damage here. 25. We get 25 million. And for the Ubers, we're going to have 7 million. That's still pretty good. That's still pretty good. Yeah, we're really, really tanky, as you see here. Effective hit pulls 85k. Our max hits are all like 50, 60k, except for Chaos. We have a lot of leech on hit, especially because it's typically higher than this. We have a tiny bit of evasion, 28% evade chance, nothing to sneeze at. We have 48% block chance, so we have 100% spell suppression. I'm actually 7% over. I don't really know what I could do about that, though. I could use a few tattoos and then like drop this whole thing. I'm actually losing life by doing that. I guess it's only 5%. So yeah, I could drop all of this and lose some movement speed, which I really like. I think while I'm not mapping, I think I will. And I'll drop these 4 points and just put 2 tattoos here. And then I get 4 points to play around with. So yeah, I'm going to walk into Uber bosses really, really strong. The character's already very good, but I'm going to be even better off. And I'm just trying to min-max as much as I can because I've never killed an Uber, and I really want to finally do it. So we'll see what I can pull off. We'll see what can happen. But yeah, we get a bit of crit chance too. We got 34% crit chance, and we have the belt I made here. I got a Hunter belt, which has flasks gain a charge when you do a critical strike. We're still not getting that many flasks. I thought it'd be a little better, but I would just need more crit chance. I could end up getting like infused or something like that. I could push this a bit higher for sure. Especially if I were to do this cluster instead of the other one, but the other one's attack speed, so I don't know. I don't know. This is a really good way to get a lot of crit. We get bleed this way, and then we get 80%, and then we can get another 80%. So you get 160%. If we were to do this, I just want to show this. Right, I know it would be over points. We'd have to drop some of this stuff. But if we say the enemy is bleeding, look at that, 48%. So I've kind of wanted to play around with that for Ubers, not for the damage, although it is like 7%. It is 2 million. But not for that in so much as the extra flash charges, right? So it's interesting for sure. Base crit chance would be the best thing. So if we were to switch over to Leadership's Price, that'd probably be the best way to get our crit capped. If we really want to just have infinite flasks, and then we can drop like a life flask for something else. And we could drop this flask node cluster here, or 4 flasks for something else. So yeah, it's tough to say. We got more room to play with, more things we can do. But yeah, the character is crazy. Very, very good. The only weak thing is kind of recovery, although we have okay leech as long as we're able to hit. And if we don't have leech, I've kind of played around with the idea of getting recovery. I mean, we look at these flasks though, right? These flasks it's 6,000 over 4 seconds, right? And Uber bosses aren't like hitting you constantly. So this is if you think about 3,000 life over 2 seconds, or 1,500 life a second, that's pretty good recovery when I only have 5,000 life. But if you guys have any ideas, I'm gonna keep working on this character, get her to 100, and then we'll probably walk into Ubers shortly after. So if you have any ideas on how to min-max or get more out of this, definitely let me know. Yeah, 15% of the damage is follow through. I actually kind of could drop a follow through. I think we are so good on damage. Or we could drop something like this. The reason I don't like dropping these crit nodes though is again the flash charges. So we probably it's probably not worth it still in the end though. But let me know what you guys think. But if you have any questions about any more info, I'll post the POB in the description. Although this is pretty much Rue's build almost exactly. But Pretty much exactly, but I'll post it down below. I guess I am tanky. This is by the way, this is with the steel skin off, because I think it's kind of cope to think that you have steel skin on. You definitely don't have it all the time. So it's a steel skin off, and like no flasks or anything, and it does have charges, but I'll have charges. I mean, I have onslaught, but that's not really that big a deal. I will have onslaught a good amount for the fights, because I have gain charges one hit, and I'm tanking most things on purpose. But yeah, that's the build. I'll post it in the description. I'll actually get that now. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. I will answer them in the comments. Uber's soon. I'm excited, although very nervous. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Please don't forget to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Maybe leave a comment about your favorite moment or any questions you had. I just want to quickly share something unrelated to the video, unrelated to gaming real quick, if you guys would hear me out. If not, I hope you have a great night, great day, whatever it is, wherever you live, and I hope to see you in another video. If you're going to stick around, I want to share something very important to me, something that really changed my life for the better. You know, at one point in my life, I'd look back, I'm 30 now, and I was kind of living a meaningless, pointless life, and that's just to be frank. I was living kind of for myself and very selfishly, and I was just kind of living for my own pleasure, and I want to just share that I found more purpose. I was saved and became a Christian, and I share that with other people, not because I feel like I have some duty or because I have some obligation to do so, but because I want to. My life was marked by all kinds of things that the world says is great. I was making great money at one point as a bartender. I was quite literally womanizing, and I don't want to get too in detail, but I was literally womanizing and just doing like non-committal relationships, and I was drinking and partying and kind of doing everything the world says is great and is wonderful. And I look back now, and that was a low point in my life. Even though a lot of people would say it's fun, it was amazing, and I didn't even realize it so much at the time. But I was really empty, and I was kind of living for nothing. And I just want to share that. No, my faith is very real, and I know some people might be tempted to click off and be like, "Oh, this is so weird." But you know, like gravity, you can see the effects of something even if you can't quite literally observe it itself. And I see the effects of my faith in my life, but also I see the order in the universe, from the largest thing to the smallest thing. There's order in DNA, and there's quite literally a language there. And then you see order in the cosmos and in the universe and in galaxies. And I don't think that that was by accident. And so that's why I say, encourage you guys, check for yourself, read the Bible. Start in the New Testament if the Old Testament seems a bit harder to understand. It is from a much older time. And read for yourself and decide for yourself, is this true? Is this real? Because I think most of us know that there's something else out there. Some people might say it's another religion, it's this or that, but I've done a lot of investigation myself into other religions and other worldviews, and I do say that I quite certainly believe that Christianity is the only true and only way. And you know, Jesus himself says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, which is why I share. It's like a beggar telling another beggar where to find bread, where to find food. I've been satisfied, I've been fulfilled, I've been very blessed. Even in my lowest moments, I've had joy, and it goes with it surpasses understanding, and it comes without reason, and it's because of my faith and trust in the God that made me and saved me. And I hope that you can know that too. I'd love to answer any questions if you have any. If not, again, I would hope to see you in another video. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening and hear me out. God bless, guys. God loves y'all. Take care.